Hello, so today we are going to be making a basic pizza dough recipe. So ingredients we're going to need is some strong white bread flour, some sugar and some salt, and also a sachet of yeast and 200 millilitres of lukewarm water. Firstly, we need to weigh out our ingredients. So we have a set of scales here. So I'm going to get myself my mixing bowl, place it on the scales, and then I need to press the 0 or the tare button. Some say tare, some say 0. I press that button and the number should be set on 0. Into my mixing bowl I'm going to be putting my flour. So I'm going to measure out 200 grams. This will be enough for one large pizza. Next we are going to add our sugar, just a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt, and next our dry active yeast. So I'm just going to snip the top, or rip the top if you can, and this I'm going to add into my water I weighed out earlier, so 200 grams lukewarm water. So you add the water with the yeast and you let the yeast sit in the warm water for 5 minutes before you add it to the flour. So now I want to add my water and yeast mixture in with my flour. So pour it into the middle. I'm just going to, using a spoon, just putting it together, moving the bowl round, just combining the flour and the yeast and the salt and the sugar. Now it's time to get in there with your hands. So make sure you have a bit of flour on your hands so it doesn't stick. And I'm just going to pull this mixture together. If it feels a little too sticky, then add a bit more flour. If it feels a bit too dry, add a touch of water. Mix it all around in the bowl. Make sure it gets really mixed. All the flour is incorporated with the water and the yeast. Once that has all come together and it's all clean out the bowl, I can then start kneading my dough. When kneading your dough, make sure you have some flour down on your surface and your dough onto the flour. So the kneading process is bringing all the gluten, is bringing all the yeast out of the dough. This makes it much lighter and tastier and gives a much better finish. So with your palm, you're going to push away and you're going to pull it back in. Pushing it away and put it back in, and keep on rotating it as you do this. So push away, pull back in. If it feels it's getting a bit too sticky or it's sticking to your hands, just push it back into the flour. You want it to work fairly dry at this stage. So push away, pull back in. You can then quicken up that process, adding flour if it feels like it's too dry or too wet. So grip it at the bottom, pushing away, pulling back in. You want to carry on this kneading process for at least 10 minutes to get a really smooth, elasticy dough. So now I can see my dough is it's very stretchy. It's got a nice smooth looking surface. It's had a good 10 minutes. You can see the surface of it is smooth. So I'm just going to roll it around the table just to smooth it out. And then we have a nice smooth piece of pizza dough. So then we pop it into our bowl that we used before. Just going to cover it with a tea towel and leave it to the side to rise and prove for approximately 30 minutes.